Black Clover. Okay, so all my favorite manga this week have big battles, and so last week we got to see the first weapon grow extremely large, and Asta went after the big giant fireball in the sky, and wasn't able to completely take it out with that sword alone. So he's only at the beginning of the manga. He has 2 minutes left before the transformation cancels, which is very important right now. So the first sword was not enough to cancel out the giant power that's coming down on everybody. So he has to summon the second sword, Demon Dweller, which is the one that absorbs other people's magic, and then he's able to then shoot that magic or whatever at the cross. So he goes after the giant ball. He's able to kind of slice it up into various, disperses it. But now it's going wild, so he had to pull out the Demon Destroyer. And if you remember, Demon Destroyer is able to dispel magic around him, and he's able to basically get rid of it. Now, what I find interesting is during this fight, Liebe has some commentary, and he's speaking out, or he's thinking in his head what Asta said to him back when they first designed their pact, where Asta thanked Liebe for making him powerful. Well, here, Liebe says, "What is this guy? I was the weakest one on the first level in the underworld. I could never have been a match for these supreme devils." So he's saying, I think Lillith and Nammah are the top devils from the first level. So they were at the top of the hierarchy of the first level. So he has a direct relationship with this devil we're fighting, who is also part of the squad that was bullying him, that tossed him into the air, which caused him to go in the human world. And so he thinks back to when Asta had made that pact, and Asta's thanking him. He says, "That's my line, you moron. Thanks to you, I can fight these guys at the highest level." Which, I still think, I said this back when Asta's mother first got introduced to the series. With her ability was... her magic power was able to put things into objects, but she had a passive ability, we'll call it a side effect from World Trigger, where she would absorb energy and or mana from anybody near her. And it's too interesting that there's a coincidence that both Asta and Liebe basically have that going, and I think their powers are synonymous with each other. I think maybe Asta, they both don't have magic, but maybe they're both sucking out energy in a certain way. Like, Asta's an energy monster in a weird way. He is always full of energy. He can work out all the time. He's extremely physical. Something's going on with him. So, let's see here. So he basically thanks Asta to be able to fight, and then it goes back to Lillith and Nammah combined, and they are like, "What is this guy? My attacks don't work on him. He's able to attack me. There shouldn't be anyone like that." And they're speaking as like an elite species, right? Like, how dare these people? I never had to fear for my life. And they're speaking out. It's like all life exists to entertain me, and yet this is no longer fun because you're no longer in a part where you will have the upper hand. So she's like, "What is this emotion?" And in Liebe, and I don't know if he's able. If you remember back when they fought the first devil, Liebe basically talked to the final devil before he went down. So I'm wondering if they're able to speak on like a different level. But he says, "You don't have to know. You never need to learn. The highest devils in the first level of the underworld, no one was a threat to you. So, of course, you can't understand. It's called fear." And now Lillith and Nammah combined are trying to back off because they figured out that Asta and Liebe's form will not hold together. So they're trying to play chicken with them. They're running away. And at the last moment, my boy Nacht come out, and he grabbed them with his shadow magic, slowing them down just enough for Asta to go in for the kill. And he's basically lamenting, like, he goes, "At least I can hold you for a moment." He's like, "I won't allow that. What irony, Supreme Devil! You have vast magic, and what you fear are a human and a devil who have no magic at all." And Asta screams out, "Get your dirty hands off this world!" He slices him with the Demon Dweller sword in two, and just at that moment, they split in two, and the brothers win, basically. And they're in having a victory thing. They're both. It's interesting because they're both holding one of the weapons that comes from the Black Clover grimoire, which is one of my questions was, once this pact happened, were we going to see Liebe in full form in the real world, or would he be the chibi form that showed up when Asta was in the first level of the Union mode, or how Nacht's devils are? So I don't know if this is this going to be like Liebe is going to be walking around the Black Bull base. I don't know, but yeah, you just missed we covered Fire Force. Welcome. So this chapter ends. It was much longer than last week's chapter. Last week's chapter was super short. I think it was less than 10 pages. This was about 17 pages. So this was a really good chapter, and it ends this fight, but it raises some questions now. Asta, can he do Devil Union more than once a day? If not, is Asta out of the fight for 24 hours? And I don't mean completely. He still has access to his swords and stuff, but he's not going to be the main contender right now. So I wonder if they're going to try to rush to stop the guy from the Diamond Kingdom that's speeding this process up so no more devils of this sort come out, or if level 2 devils are going to start pouring out immediately, and the rest of the Magic Knight squad, including the Black Bulls, the Elves, the Heart Kingdom people, they're going to have to hold off while Asta recovers, because clearly his transformation is up. Unless they, Tabata pulls out of his ass that Asta can do it twice in one day. So, oh yeah, Magna and Zora will probably show up next chapter, I would imagine, or the one after that. They wouldn't tease them for no reason, or they're staying in the shadows for a reason, and they may show up at the last minute when people need them the most. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting because Nacht is taken out. I doubt Nacht can fight at full power. He's going to need Mimosa or somebody else who can heal to heal him. Asta's is not damaged, but he's just out of mana, so to say. I don't know what you would call Asta's energy source. We know Charlotte is still fighting the fully formed 100% Dark Triad. So is Jack the Ripper, and so is Yuno. At least that's where we last saw them. So where I haven't seen much of the other Magic Knight squads. I haven't seen Nozel. I haven't seen any of them too. So maybe it's going to focus on them and what they're doing outdoors. I don't know, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this battle goes now that their key player has a handicap of sorts with having to not be able to use Devil Union. So I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. Do you think things are going to get crazy with Asta on the bench for a little bit? He might not even be on the bench. I could be exaggerating, but we'll have to see. But yeah, this week's chapter really good. Much longer than the chapter from the week before. The week before was laughably long, or short, not long, very short.